Ah, welcome, foolish mortals, to Count Gauntly's Horrors from the Public Domain. I am your host, Count Simon Gauntly, and each episode I'll be leading you on a journey through the history of film. Specifically, we'll be exploring that eldritch abyss known as the public domain. These are films forgotten by time or abandoned by their creators. The strange, the horrifying, the poorly and cheaply produced. All of these are the purviews of the public domain. So what are we waiting for? Come, join me in my crypt. It's bigger on the inside. Come, join me.
There lived a man so long ago, Count Gauntly was his name. His horror host abilities had brought him wide acclaim. The people flocked from miles around each Gauntly movie night, not knowing that the films he showed infringed on copyright. Upon discovering this fact and learning it was true, an angry mob of lawyers formed with pitchforks, torches too. They tracked the Count and sought to stop his movie hosting ways, and torches blazing put an end to Gauntly's earthly days. But our man was too resilient to let death be the last word. He stirred, sat up upon his slab and vowed he must be heard. So he stocked his tomb with gadgets from the local studio, intent on showing movies on an awesome TV show. But he had to find a legal way, so Gauntly racked his brain. 'Twas then he learned of something called the public domain. Now here he is, the time has come, his dreams are coming true. Count Gauntly's here to share a film in hopes that you won't sue.
Oh, I'm feeling it. Nice. This puts me in the spirit. Oh, wow. Are you feeling this, Ograt?
It's been 5 long years, and yet somehow they're still not any better.
Well, perhaps a new amusement now. Dancers, cease. Yes.
At least they're attentive.
Well, hello to all of you at home. Welcome to a very special Count Gauntly's Horrors from the Public Domain, because this is our 5th annual Halloween special. Yes. And you know we always try to put together something extra special for those Halloween shows. And last year, we traveled out to the Big Easy, New Orleans, had some voodoo-inspired fun, met some zombies, things like that, made a real zombie out of our friend the critic, and he really got in touch with his spiritual side, his roots and his heritage. But what inspired all of it, actually, was a conundrum experienced by Mr. Projectionist here. Care to elaborate?
Well, I don't know. I was sort of feeling a little bit lost as to who I was at the time. My identity was that I was Santa Claus, the Projectionist, so many roles that one man must play in his life. And I was a bit confused. And so the thought was to go on this trip as sort of a personal exploration, but when the time came, Gauntly, you left me behind. And you had your own personal exploration, and I was left out of the loop. I felt a little put off by that.
Fair enough, I guess. Yes, so that was unfortunate, an unfortunate oversight, and now I'm going to do what I can to rectify that. And so, I got something special for you, Projectionist / Santa Claus. We are going to go exploring, soul-searching together Year number 5, Halloween trip, you and me, let's go.
Sounds good.
All right. So, let's find out who we really are. Great job, dancers. See you in a bit, Ograt. Help yourself to some candy. Here. Snag some of that.
I'll just be here eating this candy.
Enjoy. Gauntly Halloween 5. Here we go. Just landed here in Roswell, New Mexico for Halloween special number 5. Gonna hopefully show you some spacey, kooky things here out in the desert. And this is a rather different environment than we've generally traveled to for our Halloween shows so far. You know, we've seen a lot of New England, where when we're filming in September we get a bit of that fall chill, but it's 98 degrees or so, thereabouts. And we're just gonna take in the heat. Whoa! Hey everybody, I'm here in Roswell, New Mexico for our Halloween number 5 special. Because, I mean, where else would I be? This is the perfect place. In addition to our 5th year, it's an anniversary of sorts for this place as well, because it is the 70th anniversary of the purported UFO crash out in the desert near the town. And, you know, I'm waiting. Hopefully soon the other members of the cast are going to arrive here and join me. Oh. Huh. I'm hearing a... Let me just take this real quick. Hello? Hey man, where are you at? Talking to the projectionist here. Oh. Well, I mean, I told you it was a special anniversary. So, how many other places could it be? Uh-huh. Well, no, it was not the 120th anniversary of the publication of Dracula that I was thinking of.
Roswell? Are you kidding me? I mean, I came all the way out here to Transylvania, and you're back in America?
Well, I guess you'll just have to show us what you got.
So, once again, it seems I didn't get the memo about where this year's trip was going to be. You know, you left me out of the New Orleans trip, and this time Roswell, well, I have to say, I think I found a better location this time. We're standing here in front of Bran Castle, near Brasov, Romania. It's also known as Dracula's Castle, although the connection to Dracula is tenuous at best. Supposedly, Vlad Tepes, the inspiration for the Dracula legend, once stayed here, although that's a little shaky as well. And Bram Stoker may have been inspired by this castle to write about Dracula's castle himself, although that's also a little unclear. But what is clear is that this castle is a remarkable work of art, and inside it's filled with all sorts of gorgeous treasures from its past. Architecturally, it's quite astounding. So certainly worth a trip if you're out here in spooky Transylvania.
Yep, sorry it didn't work out this year, you know, maybe next time around. But have fun, happy Halloween. Alright guys, well, I guess you'll just have to see the rest of what Roswell has to offer with me by myself, but you know what? Gauntly's who you're here to watch. So, no loss, no foul. Just follow me and we'll check out the mean streets of Roswell. Come on. So we're standing here inside the Area 51 setup behind the alien stop. You know, when you go on the internet maps, there's not so much that pops up, or rather there is a lot that pops up, just alien this, alien that, and you don't know what's going to be worthwhile. But then we just kind of stumbled across this one, and it is really delivering so far. I don't know if you can see that in there, but Gauntly has that very exact same alien head. So we're kindred spirits here. Although they certainly have a few props that Gauntly does not have, and that's why we're here. Got some of my space buds here. Over there he's got some car slippers. I think that was a interesting creative choice. I've never seen slippers like that. They must not be of this world. You know what? This is the sort of career path Gauntly needs to go down, I think. Find somewhere that he can just get a warehouse space and set up foam dummies and charge $3 a piece and derive his living thereby. Here I'm preparing my next Halloween meal, as Gauntly is wont to do. Hopefully cook up some extraterrestrial critters, as we've consumed just about everything available on this earth. But my space cowboy compadres are teaching me some new types of cuisine. So I do it all for you. Cheers. Play it again, Zargalon. Something with some theremin, okay? That's nice. So how you doing? Take a ride with me as we explore Roswell. Here goes. This will be the part where I add in some sound effects.
I think so. This is at 6 because when I'm going home at 5:30 there.
When we get to some heavy breathing, I'll wake you up.
Hi, Dr. Hampton. Is Janine at the Vertical Club? Just confirming your personal workout session.
Go ahead.
Hi, Dr. Hampton. Is Janine at the Vertical Club?
Wasn't that Jim Barry was always for someplace else?
I will tell them.
Oh, except I have a little left on one and I go back. Thank you.
We're here in Roswell, New Mexico, witnessing the vastness of space outside our own little personal space pod here at the Roswell Spacewalk. Gauntly loves small-time art that reflects a personal vision, a personal style, and that is just here in abundance. It's a little dark, it's a little grainy because you know us, we're always fighting the man, and they kind of came down hard on our professional grade equipment, so now we're here a little bit underground, but just for a nominal fee. We've been allowed back here to take whatever images we want, and you'll see as I mix in the B-roll that we have a lot of cool blacklight imagery in here. And I noticed here on my shirt we've been having some colds. I must have sneezed or something, but there you go, and you're a little bit of CSI crime scene imagery as well. Happy Halloween. Come take the trip with us as we explore. Where's the camera on this thing? Roswell. Roswell. Come with me now as we take the spacewalk. Oh yes. See, we've got some UFOs going around there.
pretty soon we'll have a little satellite space station thing. Yes, it looks like the lighting has finally adapted, and so now you can really take this trip here with me. Look at it go as we pass by the windows of our spacecraft here. Ooh. They've really made good use of their space here. Pun intended, I guess. You know, we came in here and it looked very, very small, but they've really used it efficiently. There's lots of light, lots of color, lots of stuff like this. You see, starscapes, planetary civilizations of all makes and models. And I'm glad I can share this experience with you here on Gauntly Halloween number 5. Now you can see my teeth under the black light again, just so that I can get that full experience.
So I'm just on one of the side streets now, and you can really tell that Roswell is just thoroughly infused with alien ephemera. Literally every single building on this block, there is not one without an alien. You got the tattoo parlor, the t-shirt stores, stores that sell lava lamps, stores that sell chicken, you know, donuts. It doesn't have to be alien related, but because it is here in Roswell doing business, it's got that alien theming prominently displayed. Well, here we have probably the best alien-themed bakery on the block. In fact, probably for several blocks around at least. And in fact, I have never seen an alien-themed bakery before, so the best one in my experience, perhaps in anyone's experience, it can be found right here. None too subtle product placement there. Even major chains incorporate the alien theming, as you'll see from this gentleman over here. This uniform Domino's delivery driver. Even those from outer space have to make ends meet somehow. I'm standing here beside a statue of Robert Goddard, considered the father of modern rocketry. He invented the first liquid-fueled rocket propulsion system. And in a second, you're going to get a good look at his tower that he experimented with in the 30s and early 40s. So, you know, when we think about the space race, we think about America versus the Soviet Union, but back in the early days, you know, it was a race against the Nazis. They were working on their V2 system, and in fact, a lot of that technology was incorporated in the later American system by appropriating scientists such as Wernher von Braun. But the guy who started it all here was an American, and he did his work right here in Roswell because there wasn't a lot else going on out here at that point. So even back before the goings on with the aliens, this was the forefront of American space culture. So we wanted to pay a little homage there. Behind me is the rocketry tower, experimented with by Robert Goddard in the 30s and early 40s. He sent rockets up about a mile high, which, you know, it doesn't sound like much these days, but it was very much a milestone, very much a trailblazer, and the first whiff of the space race. And I see there's a ladder going up the side. I bet if I dared Ogrod, he would climb that. Too bad he's not here. I do kind of want to walk a ways under the street and just kind of see where it goes. That's the spirit of Gauntly. I know if the Blizzard Wizard were here, that's what he would be doing. He'd do it for like 5 miles. I don't know if I'll go quite that far, but I'll certainly, in the name of exploration as shown by Robert Goddard here at the Roswell Museum and Art Center, I think I got to do some exploring. So I'm exploring the local wildlife, the seedy underbelly of Roswell. You should be hearing a cool echo effect. It's grimy, just the way I like it. And, you know, they just did that remake of It. This seems like the sort of place that Pennywise the Clown would hang out, so bringing in an element of that as well, I think, because it all floats down here. We're standing here outside the Roswell International UFO Museum. We got free admission, actually, for being celebrities, as obviously we are. All crypt dwellers should be welcome at all paranormal and related haunts. But we're gonna go take a look inside and show you what we see. Beside me here is a recreation of the, you know, it's a little artistic, but of the debris field where the crash landing supposedly occurred in 1947 on the Brazel Ranch. Perhaps Brazel. We'll learn the proper terminologies as we explore. Come on.
The Army may be getting to the bottom of all this talk about the so-called flying saucer. As a matter of fact, the 509th Atomic Bomb Group headquarters at Roswell, New Mexico, reports that it has received one of the discs which landed on a ranch outside Roswell. The disc landed at a ranch at Corona, New Mexico, and the rancher turned it over to the Air Force. Rancher W.W. Brazil was the man who discovered the saucer. Colonel William Blanchard of the Roswell Air Base refuses to give details of what the flying disc looks like.
Over here we have a handy-dandy display on the different degrees of close encounters one can have with the extraterrestrials. Close encounter of the first kind is going to be one which entails sighting of an alien craft. But as we go along, we get a little bit more up close and personal. The encounters get closer because the second kind is a sighting which leaves behind some kind of physical evidence. You see we've got some flattened crops here, various evidence left behind. And then the one made famous by Steven Spielberg is the close encounter of the third kind, wherein actual beings, actual denizens of these crafts are spotted. You'll see here the Hopkinsville Goblin of Hopkinsville, Kentucky, considered making that a stop for Gauntly's travels. But, you know, we're not just going to go to Kentucky when we can take you all the way to Roswell, New Mexico. So here we are today, getting a little bit of all that the realms beyond have to offer. So they've got all kinds of specimens on display here, preserved in tanks. I wonder if they have any, samples to take home, because Gauntly is feeling a little peckish and I've never tasted alien meat before. So I'm curious. Here we see a recreation of the Palenque astronaut, an Aztec carving showing a purported operator of a pre-Columbian spacecraft. So, you'll hear opinions both ways on illustrations like these. Does it show a spacecraft, or does it show a guy, I don't know, snorting a very elaborate silly straw? Who can say? There's such a thing as artistic license. I have been known to exercise said license from time to time, and I think we got to take these things with a grain of salt, but who knows? If it's good enough for the History Channel, it's good enough for us here. That's what I have to say. Here we stand in front of a recreation of the purported alien autopsy that occurred after the bodies were found strewn amid the wreckage of the UFO crash. Now, you'll see on that sign in there it says, photography and recording is prohibited, but, Gauntly's got connections. We're in tight with the International UFO Museum, and we can bring you the real details when it comes to alien autopsies. That's the kind of grit and 411 that you can only get right here at Gauntly. So I'm standing next to my homeboy Gort here, the giant robot from the classic science fiction film The Day the Earth Stood Still. Unfortunately not public domain, but a milestone in cinematic history nonetheless. And he's got his more humanoid representative Klaatu over there. Speaks for him. I gotta say, they do it up right here at the Roswell International UFO Museum. They've made Gauntly feel right at home, even above ground. And we've gotten to see some things we haven't seen anywhere else yet, so hopefully the same is true for you. So could you introduce yourself, please?
My name is Beth Wiegand, and I work at the International UFO Museum here in Roswell, New Mexico. Awesome.
How long have you been here at the museum?
I started in March 2010.
What drew you to it?
You know, a lot of people told me when I worked here that people come here from all over the world, and I found that kind of hard to believe because we're so small and we're in the middle of nowhere. But my husband and I visited here when we first moved here, and I just found the people just absolutely fascinating. So when the opportunity came up, I jumped on it.
And forgive me if you just said this, but what's your title here?
I'm a team gift shop.
Okay, cool. Tell us a little bit. I heard you had a story about Gort here behind us.
Our Gort, isn't he magnificent?
Certainly
Our
is.
Gort,
That's the word I would use.
Our Gort, he's one of my favorites. Our Gort was made for us especially. The same studio, the same mold as the original Gort from the movie. The only difference between our Gort's a little more eco-friendly, and our Gort was more designed to last, whereas that Gort was just a prop.
Okay. And what's he made out of?
It's a composite, it's an acrylic composite, and then he has a structure on the inside. He's animatronic, but at the moment they have to do something. His visor opens and a light comes out like he's going to zap you. It's really cool. But they're working on that. When he works, he's really cute.
They got to get that working death ray in there.
Yeah, he really is cute. Yeah.
So what are we looking at?
This is a wax mold of a mandible that was donated to the museum through a former director. Actually, our original founder, Walter Hott, his daughter was the director that this was donated to. This gentleman donated it. The interesting thing about that is mandible came from a lab preparation, but maybe about a year after we got this mandible, a couple from Minnesota, I believe, came here, and their job in life was to reconstruct jaws. People that had extensive surgeries or lost the jaw in explosions, if you will. Their job was to rebuild the jaw. That's what they did. And they specifically came here to see that. They told me that mandible came from a real piece of bone, and that mandible was never meant to chew, swallow, or speak.
So did they have any ideas of what it might have been meant for?
Not a human.
Wow.
Or a mammal. Or a fish. It didn't come from a shark. It didn't come from a cat. It didn't come from anything. I think people have said it didn't come from anything earthly. Because anything earthly, no matter what it does, this has to move in order for you to function. Mm-hmm. It has to move in order for you to eat, speak, swallow. Even fish use this in order to breathe the oxygen in the water. They use this. Everything has a mandible. That mandible was never meant to eat, drink, speak, or swallow.
So it's primarily, it appears stationary. It wouldn't move, at least not the same way?
Right.
Wow.
Right.
That's
Isn't
very
that
cool. Definitely.
Yeah.
One of a kind, for
yeah,
sure.
Exactly. And this right here behind us is some documentation of the digs that they do. They go out to the crash site. The university system sponsors them, and so did various TV channels, TV corporations, the Science Channel, I believe A&E, the Sightings Channel, and whatever it is that they find, you can see that they do it in a very technical, archaeological way. Everything's cataloged, and it goes into a special vault in the Wells Fargo building just a few blocks over.
Oh, sure enough. Huh.
And you can see that they're very, very extensive. They take equipment and actually excavate areas. And they decide on the areas using scientific findings from GPS and from geologists. We have a geologist here in Roswell that goes out there with them, and they actually dig into the earth. It really is fascinating, and it's very, very time-consuming, but everybody seems to be very passionate about it. You can see all kinds of people take part in it. This is one of our leading authors and researchers, one of the gentlemen that originally researched everything that came about of the incident in 1947, all the people involved. This gentleman and this gentleman were instrumental. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for those two gentlemen.
How long has the museum been here?
Been here?
Well, how long has the museum existed, I guess?
1992. It started in 2 rooms over at the Bank of America building north of us. It went to a building that no longer exists, and then we came here.
So then in addition to this being the 70th anniversary of the incident, it also marks the 25th anniversary
And
of
we're
your
very proud of
institution,
that.
right?
We're very, very proud of that, yes. Yes.
That's wonderful. So tell us, do you believe?
I do.
Have you ever seen anything firsthand?
Well, I belong to the astronomy club here in Roswell, and we set up out at Bottomless Lakes, which is about 12 miles east. And out there, the sky is just amazing, amazing. Astronomers come from all over the world to set up out there. And I've seen some things that were kind of odd, and everybody else thought that they were kind of odd. Have no idea who was driving it, but it was kind of odd. It was odd, yeah.
What, can you go into any more detail?
It was just lights doing odd things. It was as though an airplane was going like 10 times faster than any airplane possibly could. And it was just amazing. I mean, you know an airplane can't do that. And it was way high up. It was really cool.
That's very cool.
And more than once. Yeah, it really is pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw something once.
Did you document it?
I didn't. This was back before the cell phone days.
I see.
I mean, I took notes about it.
Yeah.
But it was when I was in 3rd grade. We went out for a fire drill, and so the whole class was standing out on like a hill, and this thing went over it was white and it was like egg shaped. Like if you've ever seen Mork and Mindy, the spaceship that Mork is in, it looks like that.
Wow.
And so it was flying over, and you know, it was going initially about the speed of what you would expect an airplane to do, but then it did like a loop-de-loop, and it kind of like dove down over the horizon.
See, airplanes don't do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Normal ones anyway. That's awesome. That's
so I'm
awesome.
definitely got an open mind, I would say.
Yeah, I think that's the key to everything. Now, if you have an open mind, I think you learn more and you retain it and appreciate it too. I really do. I really do.
So MUFON, that's something I've heard a couple times while I was here. What is MUFON?
Mutual UFO Network. They investigate sightings from all over the world, and they truly do investigate all the sightings.
Cool. Where is that based? Where's MUFON based?
It's all over the world, everywhere. If you have an issue and you'd like to be in touch with MUFON, we have the capability of that. We can put you in touch with MUFON, a MUFON officer, and they'll come and they'll help you through the paperwork, document the information. They'll take that information and they will investigate that.
That's great. I'm glad there's somebody out there doing that.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And they're not military.
That's important. Yeah, it's got to be a non-governmental agency,
exactly,
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I do see he's got something going into his nose. Is that the oxygen delivery?
That's the oxygen delivery system, yes, sir. And you'll notice the hair, how there's a gravitational pull effect to the hair.
Oh, certainly. It's like lifted
and
up.
Different symbols for the different planets. This is a symbol for the planet Saturn. Symbol for the planet Venus. I can't reach it too well, but we have a navigation system.
Okay.
Just there. We have a system up there representing extraterrestrials. Controls for the spacecraft. And you can see that he's shaped and carved into a situation where he actually is in charge. He's actually motivating the craft. That was all done by the artist using the rubbings in a temple. And it took him about 5 years to do it.
Wow.
And then he loaned it to us. Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing. And the original carving, when does that date from approximately?
They think that perhaps the original stone carving dated from between 4 and 600 AD.
Wow. So do you think that extraterrestrial influence has been a factor in human development?
I do. I do.
Cool. So I know that you, well, for one, they come across the intercom and they say it's time to be hitting the old dusty trail. But I know that you specifically are involved with the gift shop.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we take a quick look over there.
Sure, you bet.
Have you been in the gift shop since you've been with the museum?
About maybe 6 months after I started here, I came over to the gift shop.
What feelings does the gift shop inspire in you?
Well, people come from all over the world by the busloads, and they usually drive 200 miles out of their way. So we like to feel that they not only got what they came for, hopefully in the museum, but when they go home, they might go home to like Sweden or Italy or Russia, Malaysia, and they've got this really cool item, something that they picked out from us, and I think that's pretty cool. I like to think that we like to carry something unique, something different, something that they can't get from the guy across the street. Not that the guy across the street doesn't have some cool stuff, but I like to think that our stuff is cooler.
And then maybe when they take it to those other corners of the world, they spread the story, right?
They spread the story, they spread the experience, how passionate we are, and how anxious we are for people to come and see us.
Do you have a favorite gift shop item? Something that really speaks to you?
I like the things that we carry from local artists from all over the world, really. We carry, one of the items that we carry comes from a lady that's very passionate about a women's charity in Central America. The girls in her charity make those dolls, and they earn the money to support themselves and kind of find a better life for themselves. We're very proud of that, and we're very proud to be supportive of that.
Well, that's great. I wanted to thank you also for supporting my little corner of the
Always a pleasure.
Public access ecosphere, you know.
Oh, yeah, always a pleasure.
You're always welcome in Count Gauntly's crypt if you wind up in the Northern Virginia area.
It's a date.
Okay. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, you're very welcome. We're standing here outside the Roswell McDonald's. Even that is spacified. See, they've turned it into a UFO right before our very eyes. I know I'm not supposed to endorse any corporate branding here on Public Access, but I hope that we can just acknowledge the UFO aspect of it rather than the corporate branding. And so we bid farewell to Roswell here in the evening time, standing in front of the one and only UFO McDonald's. I don't know how much of this footage I'll be able to use, but before the cops roll through, I'm just gonna bid you goodbye. Glad we could take in the spacey aspect of our popular culture here in ground zero of where it all began. History of rocketry, most famous UFO incident, and now Gauntly's Halloween number 5 visit. Thanks for spending it here with us. Oh, wow, we've just really broadened our horizons with our nice little jaunt, our anniversarial exploration of Roswell for the 70th anniversary of the purported UFO incident. Unfortunately, had a little bit of a snafu, did not cross paths with the Projectionist because he thought I meant the 120th anniversary of Dracula. So he's still making his way back from Eastern Europe, unfortunately. So that may raise some things we have to iron out in a future episode. But for now, I'm at one with the space-time. How, you just sat here and you had some candy, Ograd. How are you feeling at this point?
I'm feeling very full, but that was the first time I'll got to see that footage as well, along with the viewers. So it was, we keep going up and up each year, literally up and up into space.
So are you feeling hyped for space?
I'm feeling very hyped for space. I'm ready for more space.
Oh, nice.
Whoa,
Whoa, interesting.
speak of the devil.
Oh, wow! Look at this! Oh my gosh!
Oh,
You guys got it all set up for me! How'd you know I was coming?
it seems to be a specimen of Space-A-Man.
Wow! What is this thing you call? Oh my gosh, is this orange looking strange thing?
So, Mr. Traveler from Beyond the Stars,
Oh! Whoa!
welcome. Feel free to
Oh,
take a seat there.
Thank you! Thank you! Wow! Wow! Oh man!
Yeah, I guess you're appreciating our new decor, huh?
I could get used to this. I've come to take over the planet, and I think I'll start right here.
Oh, you went from being a very jovial alien to be happy to see us to wanting to take us over.
Well, that's just how imperialism works.
That's
You
how
see
we
something,
roll on my planet, Plamamada.
you see something that you like, and you just, you make yourself right at home.
Yes.
So,
I like that. I'll take that.
all right, here. Well, I guess he has a wandering eye.
He doesn't even want it.
Man, he's just being a little greedy.
Hey, watch it, watch it.
Okay, well, here, while
I'll
we figure out what's going on here exactly, you at home can watch this as we adapt to life under our new alien overlords. Huh. Our alien friend, invader, overseer, he's gone off to recruit some of his buds to help with the colonization effort. They'll probably be back pretty soon. But, all in all, it's still Halloween. We're still having a chill time. I've taken off my jacket, which I so rarely do, just to really let the Halloween wash over me. How's that candy treating you, Ograt?
I feel very sick.
Hey, no other way to feel on Halloween.
You know what? Like, it's just not even funny anymore at this point. I'm getting like, I'm kind of, I don't even know if I'm hurt at this point or angry, annoyed. But like, come on, man. You said we were gonna meet in the place that had the big anniversary this year. Where were you in Romania? I was there for the anniversary of Dracula. What happened?
I mean, You know, there's only so many big anniversaries. I thought 70th anniversary of Roswell, it was, you know, the Roswell incident seemed pretty obvious. I don't know.
Roswell?
Guess we just got our wires crossed.
Oh, come on. This is a horror show. Count Gauntly's Horrors. How can you even call yourself a horror show if you don't talk about Dracula here? It's Dracula, the horror franchise.
120th anniversary of the publication of Dracula. I'll definitely think about that.
Yes, how could you neglect the vampires? We've been around for 120 years.
Huh. Interesting. So I'm guessing that you must be a vampire?
Yes.
Miss? Okay. And so what brings you near?
I'm just very upset, and I would like to maybe suck some blood from people. Suck some blood.
And you got some nitrile gloves there. Is this something that you have practice with?
Yes, I'm very good at this. I would like to take some blood from you, and I'm going to drink it.
Hey, well, you know what, Projectionist, and I know Ogrot's going to be into this, but since we obviously have, you know, we've further stiffed you, sir, and we've neglected vampires entirely. In fact, I don't think we haven't had a single vampire episode in all of our 55 episodes here on Count Gauntly. So now is the time for you and your kind to shine. And so, if you want to suck my blood, let's do it. I got my shirt off. I'm ready to go. And you apparently have some training, so let's give it a try.
Wow, I wasn't expecting you to be so cool about that, but maybe I'll forgive y'all after all. I'm going to suck your blood out because, darn it, it's Halloween. Okay.
So what are you doing there?
I'm just doing a little sterile wipe because I don't like to suck anyone's gross arm juice.
That's my favorite part.
Let's see.
The old sweat glands and the bacteria of the skin.
Really, is that your favorite?
That is. I blend it up for breakfast every
Ogrot's
morning.
a special kind of undead.
Yeah.
Not a vampire. He's the kind that likes sweat and other juices.
You're getting all the rust off there too. It's not tasty anymore.
Well, that's gross.
Make sure you take lots of blood there. I mean, like, don't hold back. If you have to take too much even, like, there's no harm done.
Just drain him dry.
Yeah.
We don't need him. We just need his blood.
Understood.
Nobody make her laugh too hard.
Oh,
All right.
Look at that.
Gauntly's all about
Nice.
There we go.
blood and sweat for you at home. Could you hold that tube up just a little bit so that the camera could see that a little better? Very good. Thank you.
Can't wait to drink that.
Oh, same.
Maybe
So that
I'll-
we can just
maybe
experience
I'll
it together.
Get some more of this. Looks so tasty.
Sure, just one more of those.
A little more.
You know, as best as I can give for you here.
Just some more tastiness for all of us at vampires.com. Yes.
Hey, yeah.
Yes.
Vampires
fill
on the
with
street,
blood.
vampires on the web. I'm here
Vampires
for all
in the
of you. Vampires in
yeah.
the streets, vampires in the sheets, indeed.
Blood gives me so much power. I love tasty blood. Mmm.
Gonna give this a try here for everybody at home.
He might pass out, everybody.
Just stem this.
Let's hope so.
Could you hold that for me in place, sir?
I sure can.
Can't wait to eat it. All right.
It's obvious that you've trained well. You're
And-
a phlebotomy master.
I'm just gonna set this.
Maybe I'll put a
right
little
here
dictionary
on the-
definition there and down at the bottom of the screen.
Yes, please do, because you know, we all really want to just raise awareness for vampires. We're here and we're not going away. Here we go. So hold that one.
Okay.
And I'll get you a nice Band-Aid. Because honestly, we do care. It's not our fault that we need blood, you know. It's not y'all's fault that you need to eat chickens. But you care about the chickens. And there you go.
That's maybe the wisest
She's raising some really good
interpretation,
points.
yeah, of vampirism that I've ever heard. Hey, this is a happy Halloween all around.
That's maybe some of the most meaningful philosophical words we've had on the show yet.
Okay, guys, so to really reach out to that vampire community now, so here's what I've got for you guys. I got some extra blood that I took out of myself before the show. You guys are all welcome to take a taste of that.
Why did you take out blood before the show? If you didn't know the vampires were coming.
You know, it's just something I like to do.
You just like to take blood out.
Yeah, I mean, it's in there. It's not really doing anything. I died a long time ago, so.
But you're not a phlebotomy master, so this was actually very risky and potentially rust-filled.
Took a lot of tries, so yeah, you get some rust in there.
All right.
Hey, don't knock the guy. What
And
he wants
so,
to do in his own time.
Opa.
Now I'm gonna look at my blood here while Ograt's tasting that stuff. This is very warm. I've never touched one of these before. So before we swig, guys, I just wanted to philosophize myself for just a moment. So this may be the anemia talking at this point, but this just warms my heart. I mean, literally and figuratively, because when I started Count Gauntly's Horrors from the Public Domain, what I wanted to do was just spit in the face of the medical profession, because they were just always holding me back. You know, in college, there were people taking the anatomy lab who would not steal me any bones from the cadavers, who would not, you know, people on the staff not help me get into the catacombs and mess with the bodies. So now that I am finally in control, finally producing a television series, and finally knowing some knowledgeable medical professionals who I may or may not credit after this point, might blur some faces, I don't know. But I've just always wanted to have somebody take my blood or something from my body and then give it to me to hold on camera. And here we go. Now, how does one open one of these?
One would simply have to pop off the top.
Okay. Oh yeah, it's a nice little rubber stopper like on wine. You know, well, Dracula, he says, "I never drink wine."
It's basically body wine.
It's body wine. It's fermented Gauntly juice.
All right, should we cheers our syringes and our stuff?
How about the tube? Reasonably clean?
Definitely sterile.
Nice and close. Nice and super close. Ograt and Teddy will drink theirs. Ograt and the Projectionist, yes. That was not that bad. I didn't drink that much of it. What it really tasted like was not as irony as I thought. Maybe that's when it gets in contact with the air some more, I don't know. I'm not the trained medical professional, but what it tasted like, believe it or not, Ograt, chicken noodle soup.
Oh, don't ever say that to me.
My veins pump soup beer. I'm gonna have one more little sip of that just so you guys can see it at home.
That is no good. You disgust me, sir.
Okay, this is gonna be weird. That tastes great. Definitely try this at home. I am gonna stop that off, keep that for later. Wow, you know, realistically, guys, I know time is ticking and we gotta start packing up, but you know, there is a risk when you're drinking blood. For one thing, there's bloodborne pathogens. Living people have to worry about that sort of thing. So always get yourself tested before you try anything like this. And also bear in mind that blood contains a high amount of iron. And so iron poisoning, there are some experts who say it's a distinct possibility. I'm not an expert, so I can't vouch one way or the other. But do bear in mind before you drink a large quantity of this stuff. But hey, you know, a little bit. Once a year on Halloween, you can have a cheat day. And you can drink some blood. So down the hatch, guys, boys. Let's enjoy this here on the wide shot.
Another one?
Yeah, why not?
That is magical.
Oh, nice. Good work, guys. Now we're one with the vampires. Maybe we are vampires at this point. I'm not sure. But we'll ponder that in a second.
You are.
I have been looking to add to my powers.
Oh, so we've been rejoined here by the alien and the vampire, and let's see what they have to say.
This is my planet. Whose side are you on?
Yeah, I'm
Everyone's on
kind
my
of.
side.
I'm a little upset, Gauntly, because I thought that maybe you and I had bonded earlier, and now I see this guy.
No,
We
this
really.
is my planet.
The thing is that vampires
I
actually.
claim my claim.
We've been
This
here for a
planet.
while, we wanted to take over too, actually. I really don't think that we can exist in the same planet.
It's not big enough for
Goodbye! Goodbye!
Well, we did have that blood bond there. This guy's got a cool jacket. So,
And
my
a cool
allegiance,
face.
yeah, my allegiance is wavering at the moment. But when I think about it, at the core, I think Ogred is with me on the same page. Maybe the projectionist too. I don't know how you're feeling. How did that blood demonstration strike you?
Well, I did enjoy the opportunity to drink some blood and hopefully gain powers from all of you, but I don't know. I don't know if I feel right with anyone taking over this planet.
Yeah, you know what? I think I agree, because Halloween is all about us, guys. We're the kings of Halloween, and you know what? The rest of the earth, the rest of the year can manage itself, but now's our time, and we're gonna fight both of y'all. So let's rise up, and you at home, guys, you can help us Action Max style. Go, go, go!
To ensure the accuracy of your Action Max game system, please take a few moments to make sure that the contrast and brightness controls of your television set are properly adjusted. This grayscale pattern shows 7 vertical bars. Number 1 is black and number 7 is white. If you can clearly see all 7 bars, your television set is properly adjusted. If your blacks are not really dark or your whites bright, you'll need to adjust the contrast and brightness controls on your TV set. On your TV, the brightness control may be called bright level, black level, background, or grayscale. The contrast control may be called contour, picture control, or sharpness. Please refer to your TV instruction book for location of these controls. First, turn your contrast and brightness controls down to get a black screen. Then slowly increase contrast and brightness until you can see all 7 bars distinctly and the black remains dark black. This procedure should also improve the viewing of your regular TV programs.
Stand by for target practice. Fire at the center of the flashing target. A steady aim is critical. To calibrate your game pistol, adjust the distance control on your base unit. Turn it toward minus if you're close to the screen, or toward plus if you're further away. The score signal will light when you hit a target, and points will be added to your score on the base unit. Now, reset your score by turning the power switch off and on again on your base unit. Prepare for action.
All right, Cadet. There's hefty work ahead. You gotta head into the field and take care of those vampires and aliens intent on conquering the Earth. Now, in addition to this being the 70th anniversary of Roswell and the 120th anniversary of the publication of Dracula, it's also the 30th anniversary of the Action Max video system. Now, you know what you gotta do. You got this gun, it's full of 50 cc's of holy water. You're gonna blast those vampires with it. Now you might be wondering, what's holy water gonna do against aliens? Well, I've got a theory that aliens might be demons from space. Perhaps. Then again, perhaps not. We'll see. This is a test of your skills. Get out there and blast them. But while you're blasting those aliens and vampires, remember, the other types of monsters are on your side. War is a fickle mistress. So if you see a skeleton, or a Frankenstein, or a witch, something like that, don't shoot them, because they're part of our coalition forces. And that'll deduct from your score.
Vampires are sneaky. Sharp shooting, cadet. Get those space scum! Whoa! Watch where you're pointing that thing! Look out! Behind you! Blast that space scum!
Looks like it's time for the bonus round. Let's give Ograt a blood shower. You're the only one who can scratch that itch. Oh, how you feeling, Ograt?
Bloody.
Here, open wide. Nice. Really just rub it in there.
You can be my deputy anytime. See you next time.
So, guys, that was intense. Good shooting at home, guys. Assuming you hit the targets. Assuming you didn't, the game still played out the same way. But you know, it's an evolving technology, VHS tapes. But they're the wave of the future. Now, how are you feeling now that you've joined us in that epic battle?
Well, you know, I gotta say I was pretty peeved earlier, but I think joining together to fight the forces of evil creates a camaraderie like no other. So I'm feeling pretty good.
That's excellent to hear. And since you've been waiting a long time, and as much as I might forget you sometimes, never bother to learn your name, travel to the different corners of the world opposite to where you are, I do care about you, man. And to prove it, Agra, could you pivot those pumpkins around there? Hey, look at that. Look who's on that pumpkin there, man.
Hey!
That's a pretty familiar face. Let's get a shot on just him and the pumpkin. Okay, turn forward, and could that camera just kind of tilt down?
There you go.
There it is. There it is, more or less. More or less. Could you tilt down just a little bit? There we go. Beautiful. All right, and Ograt, could you flip that other one as well? So this is pouring out another one for another absent friend, but that hopefully you can tell is the Blizzard Wizard on that one. Hasn't gotten a pumpkin yet either. Thought it was about time on your number 5. So not to water down your glory at all, but you know, I just got a pumpkin carving Jones. I got to carve pumpkins here on Halloween, so 1 is never enough anymore. I got to do like 3 or 5 or something, but here's 2 to start with. And so as our candles burn low, and as we eat some sugar to hopefully restore some of that lost blood sugar, have a very happy Halloween, very safe, as best you can as you drink your own blood. You know, as they say, you can drink your friends and you can drink your blood, but you can't drink your friend's blood, I believe is the saying.
Or can you?
I think you can.
Wise words. Happy Halloween, everybody, and pleasant nightmares. Bye.
Was I drawn into your orbit, or were you drawn into mine? In any case, you've given me a new reason to shine. The circles we're revolving, spinning recklessly around, growing tighter by the hour, till the flash and then the sound, and for a moment two are one, glowing with the brilliance of a multiplying sun. But even stars will one day fall, and I won't shed a tear, 'cause for a time we had it all. In a darker time I floated like a lantern in the sky, alone until the moment that I saw you flying by. All the roads that we have traveled through the land and in our lives, returning like a spiral as the dimming sun arrives. And when the stars were all aligned, you pulled me in your orbit as I pulled you into mine. And when the time has come to fall, I won't shed a tear, 'cause for a time we had it all. For a time we had it all.
Drag him back into the depths.